guys, this is Neelma, Cook with NK. So today I'm going to teach you how to make Pudina Naan. So let's just go ahead and get started. For this, you're going to need 1 tablespoon of yeast, active yeast, 1 tablespoon of sugar to activate this yeast, and about 1/4 teaspoon of salt and lukewarm water. All you need to do is give this a quick stir and set it aside for 5 minutes so that the yeast is activated. Make sure you leave it at least for 5 to 7 minutes, and as the yeast starts to come up, it's going to form little bubbles, and that's your indication that this is ready to go. So in the meanwhile, while this is activating, we'll go ahead and prepare our maida. So it's been 5 minutes and our yeast is activated. You can go ahead and take a look. This is what it looks like. So now let's put together our ingredients for the naan. So I have taken 1.5 cups of maida. You can take atta if you want. I'm just using the traditional method, which is with maida. To this, we are going to add 1/2 cup of yogurt, plain dahi. To this, we are going to add a tablespoon of neutral oil. Try not to use olive oil, guys, just neutral oil. I have, what is this? Sunflower oil here. Okay, that is done. A little bit of salt for taste. And then, of course, our yeast. So we are going to give this a good mix and go ahead and put this in here. And now we're going to go ahead and knead this like we would knead our atta for our rotis. And if you find your maida is a little sticky, once you start kneading this, you can go ahead and add a little bit more maida in here to get rid of that stickiness. Okay, so my maida is sticky, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more in here. And you continue kneading. So I have gone ahead and kneaded the dough. Let me just show you. This is what the dough looks like. It is soft. It is still a little sticky, but that is okay. And this is how you want your dough. So now we are going to take a damp paper towel, cloth, cheesecloth, whatever you have at home. This is just regular paper towel. And we are going to cover our dough. And if you have a lid like this, go ahead and cover it. And now wait till it rises. This will take about minimum 30 minutes and maximum a good hour, hour and a half. So I am going to leave this for about an hour, and then we'll come back and make our Pudina Naans. So our dough has been sitting and rising for about an hour. I'm just gonna show you. Look at this dough. It is almost doubled in size, which is what we're looking for. Now we are gonna go ahead and just give it a good mix. And let me just show you the consistency. You can see it is extremely soft, which is what we are looking for. So now we're gonna go ahead and make like balls with our hands. Like this size is good for naans. And we are going to do that for the rest of the dough. This dough unfortunately does not freeze well, so you cannot just make it and let it sit in the freezer. It's not going to work for you, so it has to be pretty much used pretty much right away. That's one bad thing about this dough. So now I'm going to show you how to roll out a peda. So we just take our dough, roll it with our hands, take some flour and just sprinkle the surface with flour. use a rolling pin and start rolling this out. You may need to add some more flour so that it doesn't stick, and you can go ahead and flour your rolling pin too. This will allow you to work much faster without sticking. So you want to just, because this is maida, you want to just kind of continue rolling this in one long shape, because we're trying to get a shape of a naan. You see, it will form a naan shape by itself. We don't really need to work that hard. We can just turn it around this way, and again we can take some flour and sprinkle it on here so we can work easily. You see how easily the shape comes together? And then what we do is take some water. Just use your fingers, guys. Take some water, put it on here, and now this is the pudina. If you're using cilantro, kalonji, whatever you're using, time to add it. I'm being a little generous with my pudina because I like it. And now you just want to take some atta, sprinkle it on top, right here. Take some more and sprinkle this. And we are done. Just use your fingers to kind of set the shape that you want. I think I'm happy with this shape, so I'm not going to mess too much with it. So I'm going to just use this. And now we want to make sure that this sticks to the tawa. The tawa has to be extremely hot, like the tandoor is extremely hot. So the tawa has to be extremely hot. And then how does it stick to the tawa? What we are going to do this, we're going to flip it, just using our hands. We're going to take some water, and I prefer working with my fingers. You can use a brush if you want, but I just prefer working it with my fingers, and just dipping water in and wetting the back of this naan, making sure you get all the edges. It shouldn't be drenched in water, but it certainly does need to have enough water so it sticks. You see, it's got enough water on it, and some water missing here. And now we're going to slap this on the tawa. As soon as we slap it, it's going to stick. We're going to use our fingers. I'm going to show you how to do that next. We're going to go ahead and place it on the hot tawa and use our fingers to spread it out, and then wait for the bubbles to form. And you don't want to walk away from here because it's going to burn very quickly. So you want to keep an eye out on when the bubbles are forming, and then you want to flip it. And guys, you can make this in any flavor you want. I'm just doing pudina today, but you can put cilantro on it, you can put lal mirchi on it, you can do garlic bits on it, whatever your heart desires. This is a basic recipe, or if you want nothing on it, you can just make it plain butter naan also. So you can see our bubbles are forming really, really nicely. This means that the naan is cooking at the bottom. So what we want to do now is take our tawa very carefully, and you want to just flip it and use this as a tandoor, and just go around it, getting all sides of the naan, checking in. Look, it's bubbling up. That means it's going to cook. A little bit of patience, a little bit of love, but the end result is going to be so worth it. I promise you. You can see it's starting to cook. And a lot of the times, my naan does end up falling on the flame also, which is fine. It doesn't always stick. So you can just remove it and cook it on open flame, just like you would with a roti. You don't have to worry. Look at how beautifully this naan is turning out. This is exactly what we're looking for. So this is our homemade tandoor. Look at that. Just go on where it's not cooked as much and allow it to cook. Keep checking it so it doesn't burn. And I think our naan is done. Let me just take it off the flame. Look at that, guys. Look at how beautifully that is done. And going to make it taste even better is butter. So you just butter it, put ghee on it. I don't have ghee, so I'm just gonna butter it, and we are ready to go.